you wake the crowd. F'nAround, stop the day. Rats and raves, we got something to say.
Welcome back to F'nAround in the morning on WURE FM Global Radio and all streaming services available. My name is Joe. I'm your co-host, and
this is JJ, and I'm fucking sick again, dude. Oh my fucking God.
You're never not sick, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, and this one really took a lot out of me. We didn't film yesterday, and it's still beating the fuck out of me. But we're here today, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't miss another day.
Yeah, 2 days in a row is a little hard, but one day, sometimes you got to take a step back, relax, and, calm down and try and heal a little bit.
And it's just right here. It's all it is. It's just right fucking here. Other than that, I'm fucking fine. I just can't fucking breathe and all that other shit, but I know people don't want to hear about me talking about myself being fucking
No,
sick
they'd
again.
rather hear about you all clogged up from Don't You Know. But
yeah, right. Right. If I was doing some of the nose nachos, that would be interesting.
People might find that humorous. Like, oh, yeah,
right.
That's why he's not on there. Not like, oh, he caught the common cold from his kid.
Yeah, dude. Sun passed it around and shit, but we're back down like SmackDown, and obviously, me and Joe have been talking a lot about the growth of this show and the evolution of the show. So we are exploring some different options. We would like to hear back from the people that listen and tune in all the time and see what you guys think about going to maybe 3 days a week and filming 3 and then running a couple other episodes, couple key episodes during the other 2 days. Joe likes the idea. I like it too. We just don't want to stop doing something. If everybody's completely enjoying the 5 days a week thing, we'll definitely still run it. We don't mind it. We don't mind doing the work. But we also don't want to overload fucking YouTube with episodes every fucking day.
Right, and it's a lot to catch up on when you fall behind.
Yeah,
and then with the brand, we've got some other stuff going as well. So it's a lot. If you're starting to enjoy the whole concept and what's going and what's growing and evolving from this, while we're keeping adding to, it's kind of a lot to watch.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a good time to we should take a few minutes out of the show today and kind of mention what some of our thoughts are. Right, we don't need to give any specifics, but what Joey has created from the get-go with this F'nAround situation, right? It had a purpose. It had a sole purpose at first, actually. Right? Yeah,
very laser focused.
We were very laser focused on the whole point of literally what the concept was of getting on air, right? And pretty soon Joey will be able to mention a little bit more of that to you guys right now. But right now we're just not we're not in the position to talk about too much of that. But there was a sole purpose for it. But as everything good does, dude, it evolved into what you see today. We got the podcast, we got the morning show, we're on the radio station. We're actually getting to the nitty gritty of a lot of issues, especially like with the hemp bill. We touched very hard on that, and that was a really good situation to get involved in.
And we got to see the power of the people stand up and do changes in Illinois when other states failed to do that.
Yes, 100%. And like we always do, dude, huge props to our people that support your local weed man, Canna Equity, the Illinois Hemp Association, all those people that, we've gotten in tune with over the past few months. Well done. The fight isn't over yet, though. So basically what I'm saying is that was the whole point of doing this, was to get Joey's voice out there, actually, at first, right? It turned into the great situation that you see where other people have been able to get their voices out there in a manner where there's unfiltered, raw conversation, right? Which is appealing to the world these days. So we would like to hear from everybody else and see what they think about us doing 3 days a week and really hammering some topics. Right? Maybe not spend 7-8 minutes. Because right now, if you haven't picked it up, we're spending maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes on important topics. And then the little stuff, we usually get about 7 or 8 minutes in each show. Right? So maybe they want to see us dive a little bit harder into that. Right?
Right.
We don't know. But we're obviously evolving, as I'm saying, right? This has been such a fucking experience. I thoroughly enjoy this. I'm sorry I'm always fucking sick, but I thoroughly fucking enjoy it.
Oh, don't worry. When we get his ass back to Chicago, we'll lock him in the studio and he'll sit there.
Oh, dude, just fucking wait. I was just literally on the phone with Smokey, and Smokey was like, dude, I can't wait till you get back fucking home. He was like, dude, I'm going to live at his fucking studio for the music, and then I'll be at your guys' studio for the fucking filming. I won't ever be fucking home, dude.
No. Never. It's going to be miserable.
Yeah, and Joe, what do you think? So what are some of the things? I know there's a lot of things that you've tried to bring to play, but if you had to say what is some of the best concepts that you've come up with since the start of 312 All?
So, like with this whole Timeless Wolf thing and the effing around, I'm loving the idea that we can do the media side and doing our own media
Yes.
control. And as it's been growing and getting better, it's got a lot of opportunities. We have a lot more people who still want to tell their voices. And we have a lot of things going on for different ways. But the idea is none of them can really be pigeonholed. Like this show lets us go everywhere. The podcast was starting to get very pigeonholed in cannabis.
Really
but we
good
want
with us too.
Right.
Yeah.
We want to move to other categories. So it's really hard to move to other categories when everyone thinks, I mean, we just had our last guest on was talking to us as just kind of a free for all show, hanging out. We didn't touch base. Like halfway through or some point in, she looks at us and she goes, I thought this was a cannabis show. I'm like, no, it's just effing around. So it kind of just shows like we're trying to find the best way to kind of jump around and do these serious topics while still just having fun. Because the original idea of effing around and the reason the name was there is because it was about effing around, and like whether it be a serious topic or not serious topic, we kind of like to dance around and have our way with it, where we don't have filters, we're not PC about it. I mean, you want
raw, uncut type.
Exactly.
Shit,
So we're trying to add more to it, and we will get more into it, but we're trying to fine tune it a little, and we're trying to work on getting more videos to it. Like you and I do this video every day. The podcast, that's a whole different setup. So we're still kind of easing our way with getting all those videos set up because it's a lot more technical than this. I mean, you and I, we don't edit or cut anything on the podcast.
No, this is everybody. He ain't lying. This is completely from jump. We don't take nothing out. We don't, even if we fuck up. You guys hear my dogs barking in the background all the fucking time.
Hear Bella saying hi once in a while.
Bella makes her appearances because she's an attention whore, right?
Yes,
she just fucking don't like anybody Joey paying attention to anything besides her. So, we that's the whole point of it, though.
Right.
Which is, I'm glad you pointed that out, dude, because, we want to be the platform. You said the word media earlier, right?
Yeah.
And we were just talking about media, me, my mom, and my dad last night. And you're starting to see that, like, Twitter is becoming of a good source of media, and that's for everything because of the way Elon Musk does not censor things, right?
Correct.
So what you're seeing is these other forms of media are coming up in America, right? Where they're not filming or not censoring anything.
Correct.
So it's nice to be a part of that movement because we don't want to censor nothing either. Even if you don't agree with us, we don't give a fuck. We're not going to edit it out. You can get out here and make me look like a goofy, right? But let's be realistic, though. Let's say Pritzker's team jumped down here and made us look stupid, right? Let's, with all due respect, I know normally we call him that name and everything, but let's be real here for a minute. Let's say Pritzker and his team were like, listen, we want to dispute this stuff, right? And they fucking jumped down here and they disputed us and made us look like goofies.
We're still going to show it.
That out.
We're going to still look like fucking idiots. But like on the podcast, we don't want, because of the people telling their stories, we care about their stories and it's not a got you moment. What happens is we give them the right to like, hey, just talk to us freely or cut stuff out if they need to. So we have gone through, which when you're like this, we're doing on one device, one setup between each of us. It uploads and it's all seamlessly timed, our voices and the video. With that, we have multiple cameras, multiple mics, multiple soundboards running. And when you do one edit, you got to edit everything across the board and then realign it. Yeah. It's a lot of work for a bootstrap setup.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah. So but you guys are evolving over there too. We're starting to see this concept coming around it. You get what I'm saying? Like, so I had a nice conversation with Mo the other day too. He's a little sick too, I guess. He's getting over being fucking sick. I guess he was in bed.
That guy had the fucking plague. I went down to go see him and check on him the other day. He had the temperature at 100 degrees.
What?
Because he was freezing. It was at 100 fucking degrees. And I'm like, are you fucking insane? It's at 100 fucking degrees. Turn this motherfucker down.
He's going to blow the spot up.
Right. 100 fucking degrees. And you've seen him. He's got that taco meat. That fucking place reeks.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Oh, my goodness gracious, Mo.
100 degrees. I've never been somewhere that wasn't like a fucking, what's it called? An arbitrarium? That had a fucking temperature of 100 degrees.
Fucking Mo's sitting down there baking in fucking Baghdad, dude. What
right?
The fuck?
He missed home.
He missed home, that fuck. No, yeah, I talked to him. He was sick as fuck, though. Like
bad.
He was
super bad.
He was telling me like he wasn't out of bed. He couldn't move. He couldn't eat.
Couldn't do a fucking thing. He couldn't do a fucking thing. And I felt bad for him. And that's why we kind of slowed down on the editing and the episodes over there. So I get it. But it's like everyone's starting to find the groove and they're starting to enjoy it a lot more. And people are reaching out. And I mean, personally, and I can tell you why this works. Personally, I'm literally witnessing how fucking corporations and people do media suppression now. Remember, I watched it with Juan. I'm currently watching it. Like you know better than anyone. My LinkedIn, do I get a lot of traction and movement?
Well, I would say you have a lot of traction, but nobody's got the balls to interact besides me, Brittany, and her team. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I mean, all of us, we interact, but
right.
the other ones, they're
But
all scared.
I always get the views, and
Oh
people
yeah,
go
that's what I'm saying. The traction's there. You got a
right.
1.5 million people looking at your fucking LinkedIn fucking monthly, right? But the thing is the suppression is so obvious because
Oh,
not one person will click a button.
not only that. So like, I'll give you like I did a post this morning. You'll get a kick out of this. So it shows I'm at like 4,953 followers right now, right, for
Yeah.
LinkedIn, right. After 22 hours, it had 26 views.
Wait, what did you say?
I had 26 views over 22 hours.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So for the last week, I barely broke 36 views on posts.
Talk about
Unless
being shadow banned. What the
now,
fuck? That don't even make sense.
correct. Like it's very obvious suppression, which I mean, anyone who knows anything when you're in a civil case or you're in a lawsuit for something, if you start suppressing the other side and their media sources, it becomes a DOJ issue. Like that's how bad we've seen how media gets.
Yeah, and it does, and see that like we were just talking about. That's why Elon Musk doesn't censor nothing that goes on his platform for either one of the sides, right?
Yep.
But it's good we're seeing that movement though, Joe.
And I screenshot it and I posted and do it because it's like, look how obvious this is. Like, I mean, even by the law of averages, there's no way you'd get 26 people.
Yeah.
You'd get more than that. Even on my worst days, I don't get below 100. Like my worst days, I'm still a couple hundred. So like, it's pretty obvious, you know.
That's very obvious shadow banning, and that happens with a lot of these artists all the time too.
Yep.
Even Nishay was actually just telling me a crazy story. So Nishay works with a lot of radio stations overseas, right?
Right.
So he was, because his daughter's more like punk rock pop. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily it's
like
it's
it was
not,
like
it's not
MGK
hip-hop.
when he first went pink.
Actually, you know what, dude? Yeah, dude, and it's kind of crazy. It's like the girl version of like MGK, Paramore. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Stuff like that, dude. Very good example, bro. So, and she's super talented, right? I don't want to butcher. I believe her stage name is pronounced Serafina, right? I don't want to butcher it, so I'm sorry, Nishay. My bad. I don't want to butcher it. But so what he was just telling me is that Spotify took 40,000 streams from him, right? And took him from his daughter. And he's like, what do you mean? Well, we can't, something about not being able to trace where exactly they came from. And he's like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? Their radio plays from overseas.
Right.
So how are you taking them? How do you just take them away? And that's what they do. So once you start to get traction and motion, right? You will start to see that they will take streams away from you. They will do all this stuff and try to keep your numbers down so that you can't surpass a certain fucking number and get into a certain algorithm.
It's insane how that works, but it's interesting to like see it firsthand yourself, or like you see it with clients or friends of clients. Like it's just watching it just shows how messed up the system is.
Yeah, but Joe, you kind of don't. I mean, the way that your push can almost get, what's the word I'm looking for? The shadow banning doesn't stop you. You get what I'm saying? And then what you'll see is like out of nowhere, one day a post will blow the fuck up because it snuck through the cracks.
Yeah,
and you're dude, remember this post from a week ago?
Right. Like I mean, after that one I did in Kentucky about vapes where I had thousands and thousands and like all that traction, nothing was breaking, like a couple dozen. And then I did a timeline Friday and it got close to like 1,000. And then all of a sudden I'm like super suppressed again, where like I won't break 3. Like it's like that one slipped through the cracks. That one slipped through the crack. Oh no, we're not letting this happen again.
Yeah. And they do that with so that's another thing that we touch on all the time, you guys, right? The more that we don't let the media suppress the things that we're talking about, the harder it is for them to do it. No. So you just got to keep going. You got to keep pushing. You got to find these outlets like us, Twitter. You have Rumble's another good one. Truth Social's another good one, dude, where there's no censorships on these platforms, right? So you're able to talk on either side. You're able to talk about what you believe are issues and stuff going on at this time, and they don't block at any of it. So it's really good, and I think that we're doing a great job paving the way for that coming out of the Midwest. There's yet to be a good show coming out of the Midwest that does this. Most of that stuff comes from like Florida, Texas, shit like that.
So it's nice to have this change. I mean, I'm happy with it. But speaking of the Midwest, how crazy it is, let me throw this in before we get into the good news. I thought you'd get a kick out of this.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Bella's 11, and I've been walking her forever. I mean, from Washington Park and Hyde Park area all the way to Evanston, from the lake all the way to the west side, right? Yeah. Little Village, Pilsen, Bronzeville, Bridgeport. I've walked Bella everywhere, right? And I always do my walks. And I always joke about, because I do it before the morning, right? I've always done walks early. I like walks early. So it's always dark. It's before people get their coffee, and you can see who's smiley and who doesn't, who's happy. So this week I went over because I was told, like, recently I've been going to different areas, right? Kind of walking around to different areas, just for myself. But this week I went to like the Millennium Park area, Lakeshore East, over there, like one of the nicest areas in the city. Was the meanest area in the city. Like everywhere else you go, like even Washington Park, I walk around with Bella. Hey, good morning. Because I say hi and good morning to everybody when I'm walking the dog. It kind of like stops the fact that a giant 6'2" guy with the dog's walking around. Hey, good morning. Have a great day.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time too when I was walking around the neighborhood.
Friendliest, especially when you're doing it between 3 to 5 a.m. It helps, right?
Oh, gotcha.
But the only place I had issues with the people was Lakeshore East. And the only people who were nice to me in that whole area were the police.
Are you serious?
Yeah. They pulled up next to me, like, hey, good morning. They roll it down. Good morning. Hi. But I was like, somebody said something about me walking around like, we haven't seen you before. You shouldn't be here.
Yeah, right. Because you walk around all blacked out too. You look like you're up to no good.
All black outfit, all black clothes. Yeah, with the dog. And that's what but I do it every day. But I thought you'd find that funny, that was the only place where literal security guards came out of buildings and say, oh, you can't walk your dog near this building, or you can't walk.
Yeah, but that's, to be honest with you, that's where all the bullshit's at though. So all the bullshit's coming from the bad areas and going to the good areas and doing all the bullshit. Did you see that funny meme about the mugshots of all the looters from California?
No, I did not.
So it's like a meme of like 15, 20 fucking looters that got caught in California because of these fires. And it's like, what does everybody have in common? They're all fucking immigrants.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. And you can see it in the picture. Like they're all like Venezuelans and Guatemalans and stuff like that, right? That's where they're going is they're all going to these really nice areas and they're committing these horrific fucking crimes and they're robbing people and stealing, right? So a guy like you walking around in that area in all black, I mean, it's sketchy, right? That's what you would think is, and that's the fucking sad thing that our fucking beautiful fucking cities getting that fucking way.
Right. But I thought it was interesting because I mean, Streeterville wasn't like that. River North wasn't like that. River West wasn't. Even downtown's not like that.
And you would expect them to, you would expect them to be like that though. Streeterville, right. Stuff like that. That's where you would expect that shit.
But Lakeshore East was the only one where like literal security guards were like mad at me for walking too close to the building and stuff.
And you still do that walk all the way over there all the time?
Yeah. It depends on which day. Like, I mean, I'm in different places. Like I try not to stay in the same place all the time.
Jesus Christ, man. That's some serious fucking walking from where you're at, dude.
Well, no, sometimes I drive to an area, park and walk too.
Oh, okay. Smart move. I was going to say,
like,
dude,
no, like I'll jump in the car and I'll like drive over by like 35th and the lake and walk over there. I'll drive to Bridgeport. But don't forget, I lived in Hyde Park for a while in the Washington Park area. I was over there, so I did stuff, so I know where to go. But they were super they're friendly over there too. But like, it's what the fuck? Like, I thought you'd get a kick out of that. Like, okay, so I could go anywhere in the area. I could stick out like a sore thumb in the area, and people are still friendly. I go to a really rich, nice area. Don't walk too close to the building with the dog. What? Like dogs aren't allowed near this building. Don't go near that grass. Only that one little patch over there. I'm like, I'm just walking, like trying to get miles in, like, or running. Like, we're not trying to go to your area to pee. No. You're too close. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My bad.
My bad. Let me get up out of here.
I'm gonna go back to my car. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Man, that's fucked up, dude.
Right.
What the fuck?
But I thought you get a kick out of it. I mean, like, I've walked farther west than United Center, walked over there. I mean,
you go through all the areas.
I used to walk down Garfield Avenue over by the expressway. Like I don't care. Like, we walked everywhere. And here's the best part. So I've had 6 attempted muggings. What area do you think it was all in?
Downtown.
No, like West Loop area, the greater West Loop area.
Really?
Never had one bad thing happen to me in a bad area. What would be considered a bad area for Chicago? Only in decent areas.
Oh my God, dude.
That's
a fucking sad statistic.
Right. So I just wanted to we could go back to our real stuff, but I thought you wanted to find that funny about the meanest people are in the nicest area. And the only time bad things happen to me are in nice areas. Like,
yeah. Fucking horrible statistic for our beautiful fucking city right there.
Oh, I know, but it's funny.
Nice. Look at our trash dump, Chicago. That's fucking crazy, dude. And I also wanted to apologize for all of our listeners. I know I keep fucking clearing my throat and fucking I'm so fucking congested. This is out of this fucking world, dude. Out of this fucking world. But yeah, so I want to bring up something that I seen yesterday, and I want to get your opinion on it, right? Because you're going to have a pretty good opinion on this, and this is about our good old friend Uncle Joe, right? You know, people are crucifying him on the internet because
what's new?
Well, I mean, but you can't, man. You can't no more. The guy is fucking sick. So they just made a big deal about this guy signing a fucking emergency fucking fund thing for he gave every resident of California $770 fucking dollars. How big of a fucking goofy do you think they made him look like? What the fuck is $770 going to do for a fucking California resident?
Right. I mean, you're talking about people who burn down their houses who can't have nowhere to go. That doesn't even cover a rent or like a deposit.
It's not even a bill, dude. Not in Cali.
So what they were trying to do, from my opinion, is remember years ago when they started sending out the checks for COVID, that first check, remember? Yeah. And Trump sent out that first check, right? Or however that, remember that?
Yeah,
and
the stimulus checks.
Yeah, the stimulus check. And everybody was so happy, and they still talk about the fact that Trump sent me this check, right?
Yeah.
Even though like it was from the government and all this, and it was set up, like everyone considered Trump sent it to them directly. What they were trying to do is replicate that feeling in California.
Yeah, well, that backfired.
Right. But now think about it that way. Does that not look like, even the amount and what it's set up, does it not look like they kind of tried to like go similar and touch base on it?
Yeah, but you know, that amount is realistically a slap in the face though.
Right.
Dude. Like that really made him look real bad. And I'm not going to lie to you. They're just letting him do it. This man is going to have the worst legacy known as a president, dude. I'm telling you, the stupid shit that they're letting this guy do. I'm not even saying don't give him the money, right? I understand you don't have any more money to give him. I get it. You
Ukraine.
You just sent the Cash App out to the Ukraine, so the Cash App account's probably low. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you don't got no money, but listen, just give it to him. Don't even say anything.
Right.
Just fucking give it.
Don't make a big deal about it because
don't make a big fucking spectacle about it.
If you're burning down multi-million-dollar houses, couple $100,000 houses, you're struggling for rent, and isn't California one of the isn't LA one of the most expensive places to rent too?
Yep.
Yeah.
It is the most.
Oh, okay.
The only place that you could compare it to is New York.
Okay.
Right. There's only 2 places, and even Chicago's bad, but Chicago is not even as bad as LA and New York, like Manhattan area.
Well, because what you're paying for in New York is like a fraction of the size of what you get in Chicago.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah, so I'm not familiar with the LA market, but I kind of figured it was very high based on the celebrities and everyone there.
Oh, so, God, yeah. And then you make a big spectacle in the Oval Office out of signing a bill that gives a $770 one-time payment to everybody, right?
It's not even going to cover their deductible for their insurance claim.
Yeah, and a lot of them don't even have insurance.
Yeah.
So now what you're also seeing with that situation is there's really starting to get some traction behind these conspiracy theories where they believe that they set them. Because somebody actually fucking validated what the fuck you said about that smart city. Yeah. Somebody, I think I sent you the video on.
And you sent me the video of the guy saying that about how they burned it down themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, did you see him slip up?
Yeah.
Did you see him slip up? He was like, the fire's reset.
Yeah, the fire's restarted.
Like, whoops. It's like, dude, what are you going to, how the fuck are you going to sit here and try to play people like they're fucking goofies like that?
Right. And now they keep having all this news come out like all over the world about the winds turning, it's going. And now they're talking about anyone who gets caught arsonists starting more fires, turn them in and stop them because obviously it didn't hit the amount of ground. If we're going conspiracy, it didn't hit the amount of ground and square footage they required. So it's got to spread some more.
Yeah, and now you have these wins. I just got another. You sent me a report
Yeah.
about the wins, and now I just seen another one. They're talking that these winds are going to start picking this fire up again, and I understand that first fire in the Palisades wasn't even 20% contained last night. So they were at, I think, 17% still last night.
Jesus. It's absolutely horrible, and I really hope that all these conspiracies are just conspiracies, and it doesn't come up later and
They're not.
documents that this was all true and we were
They're
right
not.
and this was all set up. Yeah, I know. Every
They're
time we
not. They defunded the fire department in LA about 7 million or something like that. And Gavin Newsom did a bunch of stupid shit, and that people are starting to call him out, dude. I'm telling you, heads are going to roll for this. You're going to see some changes over there. They think that that's their powerhouse blue state. That might not be that way no more, you guys. You guys might have fucking went a little bit overboard with this one.
unless they plan on sending them to other states, picking up residences, trying to flip states with all those people.
Hey, listen, I heard somebody in Canada mention that they wanted Oregon, Washington, and California to become the 11th province. Hey, take them. Take them fucking psychos.
Speaking of that, did you hear Greenland's people over 50% voted to join the U.S.?
That was coming next, baby. You have this dingy bitch from fucking Canada telling fucking Trump, hey, listen, maybe why don't we ask Oregon, Washington, and California to become the 11th province? Listen, you can take the land of fruit and nuts, you crazy fucking bitch. We don't want them. We're gonna take Greenland though, and then we're gonna have the Gulf of America, baby,
and we're gonna have oil everywhere.
And then what are you fucks gonna do? Because even I heard that I seen another thing that another fucking government people from Canada said they were gonna cut off all of Wisconsin's energy and shit like that. What's that about? Do they really supply them people with their energy?
Probably up the north side, because it's basically fucking Canada up there.
So you guys really got the balls. Listen, the Canadians got the balls to cut off energy for somebody in our country.
Don't forget,
understand?
In the 90s, John Candy and like two friends took down their whole government in a movie.
Listen, do they understand that fucking Ethiopia could swash Canada like a bug?
Wait, don't say that. So, did you remember I was talking about the other day when we were having the conversation about all the companies and they have bad history?
Yeah.
Do you know what country supposedly, allegedly, has the most issues with war crimes and how they treat the people? And most war crime and rules of war are based on that country's treatment of soldiers and what they do.
Please say Canada.
Canada.
That dirty bastard Trudeau. I knew that fuck was up to no good, dude. He looked. Oh, dude, we went.
But I had to this is back from the original World Wars, because remember they did join in and help, right?
Yeah.
But supposedly, allegedly, don't know for sure, they did some of the worst shit to fucking people there. And most of the war crime stuff and statutes in place were because of them.
So Canada was trying to be like Hitler, but it was like in the closet.
Against the Hitler people.
Oh. Trudeau, you dirty. Trudeau, I'm telling you, he was trying to do some freaky shit like that this time, dude, but they caught him.
You know that guy who was on TikTok and Instagram all the time, Ben or whatever, who used to do the different states and he'd call the people in. He's like, oh, Chicago come in, Illinois come in. He was like a famous TikTok guy. He's a comedian. I'll find him and send him to you later. He's the one that does all that stuff and he's bringing it up. So he was the one who was talking about it. I was always like, when I heard that, I was like, are you kidding me? Canada?
Listen, it makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense, dude.
Your big brother's out there paving the way and taking the land, and you're back there just playing with your toys.
Yo, and listen, they're all Canadians. There's a lot of good ones, right? Don't get me wrong.
We're not hating on Canada or the Canadians. We're just hating on your political leaders.
Yeah, there's some pretty solid truck drivers and people that my dad knows that are in the logistics business that are from Canada, right? So, there's some solid Canadians, but I'm telling you, there's always something goofy with them, with the upper management. You know what I'm saying? There's always been something goofy about these motherfuckers. And I bet you they're all part of this crazy. I bet you they're all a bunch of diddlers, dude. I swear to God they are. Watch. Trudeau's definitely a fucking diddler, dude.
Oh, man. Yeah.
He's definitely a fucking diddler.
He's a little crazy.
But that's actually kind of crazy that now, so now we're starting to see some real traction. that we might become, or Greenland might become part of us, right? We'll give them the land of fruit and nuts. They can have that, right? Canada takes them, right? But what does that do for us as a country, though, Joe? So now let's get to the economic shit behind it. It's all fun and games when we're effing around, right? But what does that do for us as a country?
Oh,
Is
wait,
it
real quick
beneficial?
before you go, the Crimes Against Humanity and War Crimes Act, Canada had to be a party to and signed to because of what they did.
And do we have which? Isn't it a prime minister, or is it the president?
They have that. I believe it's the prime minister, but don't forget they're a province of Canada, so they can't have a president, right? Or province of UK. They still go under the Queen or the King.
Oh,
now.
they're still under the Queen's rule, right?
Yep.
Man, dude, I'd like to meet her. Isn't she? Wait, didn't she pass away?
Yeah, she's dead. That's why I said her.
Rest in peace, Queen.
Yeah, let's see, Canada, they did murdering POVs in World War II and a bunch of raising a free Seoth.
What's that?
Jesus.
They were getting high.
Oh, yeah.
Them bastards were getting high. That sounds like a drug.
Yeah, they were just murdering prisoners in the German prisons in the invasion of Sicily and their unit, the Loyal Edmonton regime. Man, they were... Yeah, they killed someone's command. Some of the German soldiers killed some of their commanders, so they went nuts. And they removed all the regular. They went in Germany. They removed all the German civilians from their property. Started setting fires to all the regular civilians not in the war houses, and just started going nuts because they killed their lieutenant.
Sounds like a Canadian, dude. Sounds like a fucking.
Sorry,
Canadian.
I had to look that up because I'm like, I know I read stuff. But
it sounds like fucking Trudeau. That sounds like something his goofy ass would do. The motherfucker froze the truckers' bank accounts.
He wasn't even born then.
But think about, like, you have to know these things about your country to want to be involved in politics, right? So he obviously knew that this stuff went on back in the day, right? He was probably trying to get back on board with that freaky ass shit because this man literally froze people's bank accounts because they were trying to stand up to him. This guy was like the epitome of fucking communism, dude. Yeah. That's fucking communism.
That's union busting to a whole new level.
Yeah, dude. I mean, come on. How come everybody will call Donald Trump a communist, right? Everybody that doesn't like him calls him a communist. This guy really hasn't really done anything that seriously screams communism. But you got that fucking Wrangler jean wearing Trudeau wearing his fucking Wranglers, walking around with his shirts tucked in and shit, freezing people's bank accounts because he don't like them talking shit about him.
They just like his appearance, probably. They like his clean cut look, and that's it.
Yeah, that fucking douchebag. He looks like a fucking tool. Remember
they thought he was going to be Canada's JFK.
Please, dude. Fucking please, dude. Never.
The only difference is they didn't need a sniper. He shot himself in the head.
Yeah, right. Dude, seriously, this guy murdered his own fucking career, dude. Single-handedly shot himself in the foot every which way. He couldn't make a right move in his fucking country, dude.
Oh, yeah. Not if his life depended on it at the end. That was ridiculous.
It's okay, though. They're about to have 11 provinces. They can have fucking California and all that other shit, dude. Let them take it.
And if they do that, the weed market will actually recover because we won't get all the black market from the West Coast.
You know, I have to talk to you after we get off air about something about weed markets.
Okay.
I do. And I mean, it's not like a secret or nothing. I just don't want to end up going off into a giant tangent about fucking Missouri because my dad mentioned something to me yesterday that's kind of fucking weird. So, but then it'll give us something to talk about on the next episode. Yep. But it's really fucking weird what they're doing out there, dude. It's very weird.
Everyone's getting really weird. Yep.
Dude, it's very fucking weird. So another thing that we have, you know, Trump's special report.
Man,
kind of talked about last night, dude.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're trying to, this Jack fucking whatever the fuck his name is.
Jack Meoff?
Smith. Yeah, Jack Meoff.
Jack Meoff?
Yeah, this Jack Meoff, right? Jack Smith fucking basically said that, you know, he came to the conclusion that Trump tried to collude in the fucking election.
And he incited a riot.
Incited a fucking riot, dude. this is just getting out of line now. This is like it's like a kid throwing a tantrum when you tell him to leave the playroom, and as he walks out the playroom, they just break everything. You know, it's like what the fuck are you guys
It's
doing?
like when you're losing a Monopoly and you flip the board.
Oh, dude, funny story.
I
I cried when I was a kid because I kept losing in Monopoly to Tressa and my grandmother. Nobody wouldn't play Monopoly with me up until like a year ago.
I wouldn't repeat that. I would not say you lost to Tressa in anything.
Oh shit! And we're on air.
Yeah.
Whoops. So if anybody knows Tink, dude, that's why it was so upsetting that I kept losing to fucking Monopoly.
Because if you said that to Mike and Mo, they'd be like, "Wait, you lost to Tink?" Like,
yeah, right. That changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you got there's just, you guys just let the man do his thing, right? He's got 4 years. He really is trying to make moves for the betterment of us. Now, is he helping the world? No, probably not. You don't give a fuck about them, but we need the help right now. Yeah. Not the world. The world,
America needs the help right now.
Everybody's complaining about these tariffs and shit like that. Hey, listen, you guys, people need to stop taking advantage of us.
You saw that that new department, right?
Which one?
The tariff department. Did you see that about that?
No, I did not.
Look it up. So he was like, how we have the Internal Revenue Service that comes after us for taxes. As of January 20th, I'm creating a new division. They're going to start collecting the tariffs from the other countries that aren't paying us. If we're going to collect from our own people, let's start collecting from other countries. I'm going to create this whole division January 20th. It's starting, and we're going after everybody that owes us. You see it?
No, I can't find it.
Oh, yeah. I was like, that is amazing. That's an amazing idea. Think about it.
The U.S. harmonized tariff schedule?
It's going to be called the External Revenue Service. Its whole job is to collect tariff income. Take a look. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, just while you're looking at, what are your thoughts on that idea, though? I mean, the fact that
fucking right. it's amazing concept. That's so simple, right? Because hold on,
External Revenue Service, yeah. So instead of the IRS,
it's such a simple concept, but it's so important because now we're going to finally have some let's call it tracking on where and when and how much of this money is supposed to be coming in or going out, whatever the case may be, right?
Put some regulatory oversight in place.
Dude, and it's such a simple concept. We just talked about this morning, right? You and Tressa talked about it, right? So think about it. This is our same thing. You and Tressa talked about it, and Midge is going to start doing the accounting, right? So you were like, okay, listen, this is smart. We should really start keeping track better of how things are going, what's coming in, what's coming out. There's a whole purpose behind it.
Right. And it's way easier to have someone who's there looking at it than someone halfway across the country that you can't give access to properly.
Right. So you see how simple of a thought it is, but how important it is, because like Joey always pounds into Tink's head, listen, you don't understand how important it is to have this laid out this way. When you have a company that we've built with multiple companies now, so there's multiple companies under this umbrella. You need to make sure that everything is hashed out correctly so that everything is handled accordingly. So now let's take it to the bigger scale, right? When you're the corporation, the United States of America, right? And you need to monitor where your income is, where your overhead is, where your output is. There's nothing better than monitoring what should be coming in due to your tariffs.
Right. Completely agree. I mean, and the fact that, like, I didn't realize we weren't even, did you realize until that we weren't properly collecting them?
Is Politico good?
Yeah. I like Politico.
Okay.
Yeah. Great source.
So I just wanted to make sure before I read up on the information on a, so let me here. You keep going on about it a sec. I'm going to read for 1 second. Just so
no worries. I mean, but it's amazing to think that, like, until that, like, I always knew we did tariffs when we did this, but the fact that we have so many outstanding is kind of like, what the fuck? I mean, we're in so much debt. We're paying debt. We're raising debt. We're trying to survive as a company that's basically running red forever. And what the fuck? Like, we have all these outstanding debt. Let's start sending some leg breakers to get the money.
Not to cut you off, explain really quick, because even for me, explain what a tariff is exactly, if you do.
So remember how when we're talking about we're crossing country borders, the income you put on those projects? So like, remember we talked about Canada, the tariffs when you're going over to Canada for the stuff that we're buying from them and they're buying from us. It's taxes to other country to do it. So here's the greatest example for it. Our cars in America are priced X, right? When you buy cars from Asia, it's like a quarter of X, right? So we put a bunch of tariffs on it to make it more expensive. So it's a kind of closer market for the tariff.
Also, it evens things out. It pretty much tries to balance things out.
Right. But we do it because other countries do it to us too, right? But now it's time to collect. But that's why it's like that, because think about it, when you go to Asia or other countries, aren't a lot of things that you buy here a lot cheaper?
Oh God, you get iPhones. My cousin was just in Japan, and I mean, you get iPhones for like under $50, under
Right.
$40, and
So
shit.
that lets you know how much tariffs, taxes, and stuff are being put into it, because you got to take in the logistics, the transportation, as you well know, the borders. Then you got to take in the customs. Like, think how many charges and fees and costs are associated with just getting them to us on top of the taxes.
Yeah. And so that's what tariffs are put in place for, right? Is to regulate that situation when you're doing other business dealings in other countries.
Correct. And
what
the
Trump
more
is
they do
saying-
it to us, the more we do it to them.
And what Trump is saying is that, I'm going to quote him here, right? Through soft and pathetically weak trade agreements, the American economy has delivered growth and prosperity to the world while taxing ourselves. It is time for that to change. I am today announcing that I will create the External Revenue Service to collect our tariffs, duties, and all revenue that comes from foreign sources. End quote.
Yeah.
Man,
that's amazing,
dude.
I'm surprised you didn't see that. Like, I was like, oh my
God.
No.
See, I've been seeing the talk about tariffs, right? But I have not seen this External Revenue Service. But you know what's crazy, right, Joe? Let's take a step back here for a sec, right? We have the Internal Revenue Service, right? That is basically fucking the American people
on a daily
fucking basis, right? And we pour money into that. We pour budget into that. We go. I mean, we're literally screwing the American people, and it's such a scam, right? It's it's the most well-run Ponzi scheme known to man, right? And we make sure that that's still there every fucking every year, whatever you want to call it, right? Every 4 years, every president always wants to keep it there. Trump's been the only one that's ever said, listen, you guys are fucking stupid. Why the fuck do we have this? And what the fuck are they doing besides hurting us? Yep. And then what he says is now we're going to get an External Revenue Service, right? So what does that mean for the IRS, though?
No, it doesn't mean anything. They're still going to do their thing, but hopefully what he's trying to project is, in my thought process, is if we can start getting the money that's owed to us and that we're due, maybe we could stop raising taxes and work on lowering the taxes, or at least lower the debt. So do it that way. You can't ask to raise taxes or try and take more money if we're trying to collect the money that's owed to us.
Yeah, but why keep the IRS when, you know what I'm saying? Right. Isn't he calling to also get rid of them too, though? Doesn't he want to get rid of the IRS?
Well, he wants to play around with. I don't think there's a way they could ever fully get rid of the IRS, but I mean, lowering it and making it not as big of a deal, they can do. Like removing some of its powers and abilities, I can see that occurring.
Okay. And isn't that also what he brought? I think it wasn't RFK he brought on board for pharma, right? Isn't RFK doing something with Big Pharma, monitoring Big Pharma or something like that?
Something with the medical stuff, which everyone's making a big joke out of.
RFK's doing. You have Elon Musk and Vivek, right, with Swami. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that are going to kind of be monitored. Didn't they vow to do something with the IRS and check?
I think they're going in on it. They're going on a lot of stuff.
Dude, I'm curious to see how this 4 years goes.
Oh,
and I'm not going to lie to you. I think that Vivek runs next, dude. I'd like to see Swami.
That'd be interesting. I'd like to see that.
He is so fucking energetic, bro. I would love to be around that cocksucker, dude. That motherfucker is the best.
I wanted to throw this at you while we're watching. I mean, we don't need to jump in it really hard, but I thought you'd get a kick out of this. Did you know in like 2023, P. Diddy was trying to get into cannabis, right?
Really?
Yeah, there was going to be a merger between Cresco, one of the biggest players in America, and Columbia Cares. He was you're going to sit in the deal for $155 million. The deal ended up falling apart, but I mean, we're talking about months and months and months of negotiation and working stuff out. How much you want to bet some executives from those companies didn't end up at one of those parties?
Oh, listen, dude. A lot of people. That's another conspiracy theory going around. And listen, you mentioned it first, so I'll say it here.
That's why I threw it out there, because I thought you'd want to know
first.
that we had Cresco and Columbia Care slide in with the Diddy.
a lot of people are curious if these fucking fires had anything to do with all this information that they wanted fucking gone.
Yeah,
So,
between Epstein and P. Diddy, you're taking down most of the people.
now obviously massive conspiracy theory, but hey guys, listen. What's our favorite fucking thing? Hold on, I'm getting them.
Quack, quack.
If it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck.
It's a motherfucking duck.
It's a fucking duck. You know what I'm saying? So Mr. Quackers is going to go back that way. But you guys, we just try to talk about these things as they come in, right? And there's just too much stuff coming around all this. But I really want to make sure that people understand this is just the information that we go and dig for, guys, right? We're not saying that any of this shit is true, right? We once again always would love to hear input from people, but this is just a lot of stuff that people don't talk about because the media does what, Joe?
Suppresses the information and shows what you want to show. Because I mean, honestly, I was thinking about it and I was dying to tell you and catch you off guard with it. That's why I didn't send a bunch of stuff. Have you noticed they're talking about all the celebrities and stuff going on, but they never once talked about a $155 million investment that failed on a merger on some of the largest cannabis countries in the world a year ago?
But they'll talk about his baby oil for fucking 3 months.
Right. I mean, I've done negotiations and mergers smaller than that. And I'm telling you, we partied our balls off and we knew each other intimately, even if it worked or didn't. You get to know each other. You get to know the business and the people. I'm telling you, that's kind of funny. That shit's not brought up. It's almost like, oh, out of sight, out of mind. That happened in 2023. So what are you saying?
And that's big. People should be paying attention because once again, this is how markets and industries get monopolized. People. This is where it starts, right? Letting guys like P. Diddy come in at 155 million, which then opens the door for another guy like P. Diddy to come in for another 100.
And the deal did not go through, but the fact that the door was open means there's some parties that occurred.
And that's 100% how you see this monopolization happen, guys. We need to make sure that we are also keeping our piece of the pie, or at least knowing what's going on with the pie while it's getting divvied up, right? So even us in the music industry, there's so much stuff going on with how these streaming numbers are going, right? If us smaller labels and smaller management companies don't speak out about it, don't talk about it, and don't try to change it, right? It's never going to change, which is now you're starting to see bigger players are now starting to talk about it, right? Like Snoop Dogg and stuff, about how these streaming numbers just don't make sense. You guys are monopolizing. You guys are collecting all the money. You guys are getting rich, but the artists don't make nothing. The managers don't make nothing. The marketing teams don't make nothing. They're scratching to get by. The same thing with like support your local weed man and stuff, right? They're fighting to be able just to stay open. Just to stay open.
And the big players don't even want that because it eats into their bottom lines.
Yeah, and then what they do is they go get more big player money. Right here, let's go, everybody, give me money, fat fuck money. Hey, fat fucking my wife money. Then you got the Schuchenheimers from fucking Highland Park, the mayor, right here. You know, yeah, here's money. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's throwing money at everybody, and once again, little guys getting fucking squeezed out in the chokehold.
You know what just kind of crossed my mind? I mean, just throwing it out there. Did you know how many artists and people were found and got famous off of TikTok?
No, I don't.
Think about that. Think about how many artists that are big that came off of TikTok because they went viral and their song went viral or stuff went viral. Independent artists became famous off TikTok.
Yeah,
look, that's where Tom was and stuff. But that's where Tom McDonald, all these people were. Independents were actually finding ways to get streaming and getting stuff. Yeah, I'm not saying you're making a lot of money, but you're making money off TikTok. You're making money off streams, maybe off your album sales, your merch. Think about how many independent artists actually took off with a career because of TikTok.
In the last couple, for sure.
Ever since COVID. So isn't that interesting? You're talking about how the music industry squashes down on little fucking artists and independents, and all of a sudden the tool that got a lot of them famous in the last couple of years and made all these independent artists famous is now about to be banned.
Yeah, but I heard there's talks of Elon Musk picking that up. They blocked Kevin O'Leary out. They blocked Mr. Wonderful out.
Yeah, not only did he talk about it. Did you hear about Mr. Beast? Mr. Beast did a tweet about, hey, maybe I should buy it, and then a bunch of billionaires reached out to him offering to fund it.
Oh God, yeah, dude. Listen, Mr. Beast. I don't know how that guy does what he does, but I'm telling you, that guy. He just did a fucking thing. He fixed like X amount of number of amputees problems in Africa or something, and he's sitting here like, you guys can't do this.
Right. He's like
You guys can't
he's
do
like
it.
the most streamed person on YouTube with the most
Oh
streams.
God,
So
yeah.
he's getting paid off YouTube. He's getting paid off everything else. And now people literally throw money at him to do stuff. And then
Just
he's
to
got
do
show.
things.
Yep.
He said that, his show that he came out, the show that he has,
Yeah.
he said that actually cost him a lot more money than he ever thought it would cost him just to do that.
Wow.
Just to do that show. He just did an interview about it. He was like, listen, you guys don't even want to know what it cost me. That he said that we went way over budget.
But I mean, I like what he does and how he does it. I mean, he does but he does have some issues on his team. So we're not going to go into his team or anything. He has had some legal issues with his team. But
yeah, it's because that guy's a fucking idiot. And decided all of nowhere, I'm gonna have a girl. What?
Yeah, well, I'm not getting into the stuff that he did or like the allegations of some of the other people on his team, but I was saying I like the concept of people.
Oh yeah,
staying.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know the other shit you're talking about. Yeah,
but I just thought you'd find that interesting, talking about music and suppression and the fact that the tool that got a lot of these people, independent, money and rich, and at least a living, is now being removed from them. Just a small coincidence, isn't it?
Well, hopefully we're starting to see some oversight though. So like you said, you've got the External Revenue Service coming. He's going to start making moves and steps towards that, hopefully. You've got Elon and Ramaswamy checking out all that other stuff. You've got RFK in the cut doing his thing, right? So he has really got a group of people that have been kind of on the same page with him this whole time. And it's really just about having oversight, right? These people agree they have the same goal as having more oversight. They might not agree on everything completely, but they all believe that there really needs to be more oversight. So hopefully we start to see that set a trend and start to trickle down more into business and other things, right? Instead of just politics, because we definitely need that. This is going to be stuff that's major. That's absolutely fucking major. Dude.
And we'll stay on it. We'll keep screaming and yelling if you don't want to, but we'd prefer if you join us. But speaking of that, let's talk to some Spotlight. So, tell me something good in the world.
So listen, I know we had an idea for this, but I just seen it pop up, so I'm gonna fucking change it, right? Because I like dude.
Okay.
Let's do Pete Hegseth, bro.
Okay.
Let's do him, dude. This man he's definitely made a solid fucking career out of what he's doing. He's come a long fucking way, and I think he's a really good addition to the team, dude. I think he's a very good addition to the team. I think he's gonna do a lot of good, right? So, let's give a shout out to Pete Hegseth and his team and his family for, fighting a good fight these past few years and getting in tune in the right situation. I really fuck with dude. I like him. What do you think about, buddy?
I've got no issues with him. I like him. I kind of like how he's sharp on his feet with some of the stuff he's doing when he's sitting out there answering his questions. And I mean, it's kind of like being put up to a firing squad because no, let's be honest, no matter who's put up there, they're going to cause a fight. So just a step in that room shows you got some fucking balls because
you got some fucking balls for sure.
Yeah. And that's the best way to view it. Like whether you like him or not, you got to give him props for walking in that room because you're literally walking into a full frontal assault on your whole life, every decision you made and everything that's ever occurred by a bunch of people, most of which don't even fucking want you in that room. And they're going to do all they can to remove anybody in that room because they need their oversight.
Yeah. Well, Pete Hegseth is going to be a great addition to the team, dude. Fucking love, dude. Massive spotlight out to you. Huge shout out. Keep killing the game. Keep doing your thing. And if you want to be on our show, please call me because you're the best.
Yeah. I mean, anyone wants to be on the show, give us a call. We'll figure out a way. But I mean, we still got some time. So anything you want to update us with music going on or anything? Anything going on with Tino?
No, dude. Tino's he's back at school today, right? Tino's got me sick, so I want nothing to do with him right now. I want to he's fucking bothering me. That kid fucking coughs all over you and shit, gets everybody sick. So Tino's doing great though. Angela's recovering. She's getting over being sick. Music's doing fucking excellent. One thing I do want to say to all independent artists, right? You can record 1 million fucking songs a week, right? That's fucking awesome. Good for
you.
Right? Great. I'm so proud of you. Gold star for the day.
You're the smartest kid in your homeschool.
Yeah, right. You're the smartest kid in your homeschool. If you don't got no marketing budget for these fucking records, they ain't worth a fiddler's fuck, dude. I'm serious. They ain't worth nothing. That shit don't work no more. There is no such thing as just putting out a hit record, dude. It can't be that way. there's too much. Social media has become too big. So before I go off on some crazy fucking tangent on it, I want to dive more into this with Joey, because actually Joey has been showing kind of a slight interest in what's been going on in music the past few days, and I'm kind of curious why. So I'm going to be updating him as soon as we get off air when I wrap up some calls. But we're definitely going to dive into this more. Nashay wants to get on and talk about it. We're going to get Nashay on with me and you. We're going to talk about this with Nashay, and Nashay is going to make it clear to people what it takes to become a major artist these days, dude.
Stay tuned for the future when he talks about that. But once again, thanks for effing around in the morning. I'm your co-host, Joe.
Hey, it's JJ, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you for effing around with us in the morning.
See you tomorrow morning.
All right, see you tomorrow morning.
Effing around, start the day. Lesson brains, we got something to say. Feel the beat, the energy rise. It's morning mayhem, no surprise. We're effing around, sun's up, it's true. Morning vibes just for you.
Sounds good.